All right, guys, so we just talked about the fall of the Assad government in Syria, and we showed Joe Biden's statement after that happened. It was massively contradictory. It's literally paranoid schizophrenic imperialism is how I would discuss it. It's sort of like, it's like if I were to script what's going on with our foreign policy from the Bush era and onward, you would say, you can't write it like that because it's too silly. That would never happen in reality. But it did. Every step of the way, the dumbest decisions that could ever be made have been made. So, in the minds of a lot of MAGA, they think, well, Trump's anti-war. So he's going to, save us. He's going to help us out. He's going to bring stability to the world. This is what a lot of these people think. Now, I've proven 1,000 times over, it is objectively not the case that Donald Trump is anti-war. In fact, Donald Trump put so many warmongers in his administration. Donald Trump himself did many warmongering acts. Probably the best example of that is massively, massively increasing the drone war. It was a 432% increase in drone strikes, and that was only the first 2 years of his time in office, and we don't know about the second 2 years because he got rid of the mandatory reporting of when we do the drone strikes. But we know there was over 2,000 strikes in Afghanistan alone, and we had a 330% increase in civilian deaths while Trump was president. And that's to say nothing about assassinating Soleimani and nothing of the 9,000 other foreign policy things I could point to. But he comes out as the rebels take Syria, and he says the following, ready? Opposition fighters in Syria, in an unprecedented move, have totally taken over numerous cities in a highly coordinated offensive and are now on the outskirts of Damascus, obviously preparing to make a very big move toward taking out Assad. Russia, because they are so tied up in Ukraine and with the loss there of over 600,000 soldiers, seems incapable of stopping this literal march through Syria, a country they have protected for years. So far, all this is correct. The only thing I don't know about is that the Russian soldier death number here. I'm not sure if that's accurate. He continues, this is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line in the sand. Okay, we're going to come back to this line. And all hell broke out, with Russia stepping in, but now they are, like possibly Assad himself, being forced out. And it may actually be the best thing that can happen to them. There was never much of a benefit in Syria for Russia other than to make Obama look really stupid. In any event, Syria is a mess, but it is not our friend, and the United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved. So, of course, MAG is looking at the last line of the United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved. They look at that and they go, see, Trump's anti-war. Guys, this very statement is contradictory. You cannot attack Obama for refusing to commit to the red line in the sand while also saying, and by the way, I agree with him, we should stay out. That's not how it works. So look, the thing he's referring to with Obama said, if Assad uses chemical weapons, that's our line in the sand. And then we'll have to act if he uses chemical weapons. Then there were reports that he used chemical weapons. There's a dispute around whether or not that is true. We're not going to get into that. But the bottom line is the general perception of everybody was he used chemical weapons against his own people. And then what did Obama do? He did not approve boots on the ground in Syria. And what he said is, look, I'm going to abide by the Constitution, and I'm going to say Congress has to make the decision first. And if they pass a resolution saying we will do war in Syria, then I'll act on that. And what happened? There was massive public outcry against it. It didn't get through Congress, and he ended up not going to Syria. Guys, that's a good thing. And in fact, the other thing that happened is Obama took that moment to negotiate with Russia and Syria and say, you need to give up all your chemical weapons. And what happened? They gave up all their chemical weapons. The Assad government gave up all their chemical weapons. So, if anything, this was like one of the better moments of Obama, where he should have never said the red line thing in the first place, but he did. And then what conservatives did is they used Obama backing off the red line. They used that as evidence of, look, he's weak. Look, he's a bitch. Look, he doesn't follow through. Obviously, the right thing to do is be Mr. Macho Man Tough Guy and now do all-out war against Syria and try to topple Assad ourselves. This was the Republican stance. And what Trump is doing here is he's saying those Republicans were right, calling Obama a bitch for not enforcing the red line. But also then Trump goes on to admit, yeah, but Obama was kind of right and we should not be in Syria in the first place. What the fuck? What the fuck? And this is what Trump does. This is what he does. Now, by the way, so Obama didn't do a war with Syria and put boots on the ground. He did arm rebels, which is a bad thing in and of itself, but we don't need to get into that now. But Trump did bomb Syria twice. He did bomb Syria twice. Now, by the way, what else is there about Trump and Syria? Again, you cannot watch this clip, which I'm about to show you, and conclude that Trump is anti-war. It is literally impossible to come to that conclusion, because if Obama said this, oh my God, this would have been... You would never hear people stop talking about how much of a warmonger he is, how much of a neocon he is, if Obama said literally the exact same words that you're about to hear Trump say, which is a thing Trump repeated like 1,000 times, by the way. There's countless videos of him saying this.
And then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil. The only troops I have are taking the oil. They're protecting the oil. I took over
We're taking the oil. We're not taking the oil.
Well, maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
They're protecting the facility.
I don't know. Maybe we should take it. But we have the oil. Right now, the United States has the oil. So they say he left troops in Syria. No, I got rid of all of them other than we're protecting the oil.
If Obama said that, there would have been a massive outcry. Trump said it. It was just a random Tuesday. He's like, yeah, we're occupying a third of Syria because I'm stealing the oil. Duh. You moron, that doesn't make you anti-war. That makes you a massive, colossal imperialist, plundering other countries for their treasure. Are you out of your mind? This is insane. This is insane. So, again, only MAGA can read this statement from Trump and walk away thinking, see, he's anti-war. He's literally attacking Obama for not doing an all-out war with Syria, while going on to say we should stay out, which means I kind of agree with Obama. Look, the reality is, in Trump's second term, you're delusional if you think he's not going to do more in Syria, get more involved in Syria. You're delusional in that scenario. He absolutely positively is. He absolutely positively is. So prepare yourself for that. And by the way, this has always been my bone to pick with the way the media talks about Trump, the way the resistance and Democrats talk about Trump. Their line of attack seems to be, oh, he's an isolationist, and that's bad. No, the reality, he's not an isolationist. He's not even a non-interventionist. The guy's a warmonger, and nobody seems to call him that except me. Nobody seems to know the actual record on the foreign policy except me. And that's your line of attack. By the way, Trump does the exact same thing on Afghanistan. On the issue of Afghanistan, he pretends to attack Democrats. Oh, you should have pulled out. How dare you pull out? How dare you not pull out? That's ridiculous. That's the right thing to do, is to get out of Afghanistan. He says that all the time. And then in the next breath, he's like, I can't believe you pulled out of Afghanistan. And you left the air base open? How dare you? You should have left the troops there. Well, then you're not getting out. You're not getting out. So he tries to have his cake and eat it too by pretending to be anti-war, then contradicting himself immediately, and in the next sentence, ripping Democrats and ripping Biden to shreds for actually getting out, following through and getting out of Afghanistan, one of the best things that Joe Biden did. But, oh, it looked ugly and our fake government collapsed immediately. Fucking of course it was going to collapse immediately, whether we withdrew that day or withdrew in 5 years or 10 years or 30 fucking years. It was a fake government. Of course it was going to fucking collapse. But this is Trump, right? This is what he does. The contradictions are irrelevant. They don't matter. He'll just throw everything against the wall and hope something sticks. And you're seeing it again right here. But the reality is the best predictor of future action is past action. And past action with Trump is he's a warmongering psychopath. And so prepare yourselves, because it's going to be like that in the second term, regardless of what other people tell you and regardless of what Trump says half the time when he half pretends to be anti-war before immediately admitting he's pro-war. So, it's ridiculous. It's comical. And at this point, if you're in MAGA and you don't see this, you're trying not to see it because it's so clear right in front of your face. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.